Hey guys, what's up?
What's up?
Back again with Too Real. Jillian Rosado here with my lovely husband.
Lovely.
Miguel Antonio
Rosado.
Or AKA Michael Anthony Rosado.
Did not know my government name. Messed up.
So if this is your first time joining us, thank you for tuning in or listening in. You can catch us on any podcasting or video platform pretty much. And if you missed the first episode, definitely go listen to it. It's an introduction on ourselves, little things you might not know.
Little things you didn't know.
Little things I didn't know, but here we are. So we want to get right into it because this is like a really packed episode. And we try to keep these under 25 minutes for you guys because it should be like an easy listen while you're getting ready in the morning or driving to work or driving home from work or on a walk outside. Right. So today we're talking about crazy calendars. And sometimes I catch myself cringing when someone will be like, hey, we should do it. And I'm like, oh, our calendar is crazy this month. And I'm like, ugh, like it's almost like a joke at this point. Of course your calendar, but like it is.
It is. We wear multiple hats.
We do.
I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah. For example, Mike is the lead pastor of Fervent Church. There are 2 locations. He also is the national coaching team lead for Peak. And what is your title with Fresh Start?
I'm just the lead coach, coaching lead for church replanters of the Fresh Start Network.
So that is 3 hats.
Yeah.
Which some might argue is more because your role within Fervent is not just lead pastor.
Right.
You do a lot.
I'm also husband, dad.
Yeah. And then I'm executive director at Fervent. I am the Peak administrator.
So I just said, yeah. He's a husband. Yeah, whatever.
I am the main administrator for Peak, and then I also have a personal business that I manage in addition to being a wife, a mom, etc. Having a life. Yeah. I say that a lot. But we do. We travel a lot for our side jobs that we have because they are national. And we have 2 teenage boys who are very active, but the oldest has his license up top. You were not prepared for that.
I wasn't.
And that was like the weakest high five
Hold on,
ever.
give it a strong one.
Ow.
Oh, see? You weren't ready.
No.
You weren't ready.
Our 17-year-old has his license.
Yes.
So as much as I was terrified in the beginning, now I'm like, go get your brother.
Yeah, for real.
Because the taxi life was real. These past 2 years have been like...
Crazy.
And the funny thing is, the last time we picked Chase up at one of his friend's house, he was taking forever to come out. And Mike was getting really irritated. And I said to him, because the next day he was taking his driver's test, and I said, just savor this because this may be the last time we ever pick him up.
I remember that, yeah.
And it was. And it's been so glorious since then.
It has. It's still nerve-wracking. You still get nervous.
I'm on Find My iPhone, and I'm like, why is he driving over the Ben Franklin Bridge right now? Why is he going to Philly? Where is he going? When is he going to be home?
Right.
So thank God our parents didn't have that when we were younger.
No.
Oh, my goodness. Why is Jill in Kensington? She's supposed to be in school right now.
Yeah, you would have been. We weren't saints our whole lives.
No. I don't even know that my parents know that. So sorry, Mom and Dad, if you're listening to this. But they know I was always I was finding trouble any time I could.
Right.
But that has reduced some of our travel, like the sports travel and stuff like that. But it's still hectic. And calendar management is like something that I'm so passionate about. And you are not.
Nope.
Like
I need to be.
He fights me.
I need to be.
All the time about it.
Yeah.
All the time. But you need to be because when you wear multiple hats and you still want to have like personal time to go have fun, like you need to manage a calendar.
Right.
That's why it's amazing to me sometimes, like I'll schedule something with someone. I'm like, all right, I'm putting it in my calendar. And they're like, oh, I don't use my calendar. I'm like, how do you live life?
Right.
Like, how do you know what's happening on a daily basis? Me and my calendar are like this. Like we are attached at the hip.
Yeah.
So when someone's like, I don't use my calendar app, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But so it is important, and we're going to talk through like how you can do that, what prioritizing looks like, reminders, etc. But I would like you to start because the funny thing about my husband, he is an Enneagram 3, which he loves to tell people. because I think it's just the achiever in him. Like, he wants you to know that he's an achiever because then he's achieved being an achiever.
I've achieved being an achiever.
And the flip side is I am an Enneagram 8, a challenger. So like,
yeah.
Part of me never wants to tell anyone what I am because it's the challenger in me.
That's interesting.
So they're like, what's your Enneagram? I'm like, ugh.
I never caught that.
But I'm an 8. I am a challenger. So it's funny to me that you reject calendar and organization and prioritization and goal setting and all that stuff. And I love it because based off of those profiles, you think that we would each be the opposite.
Yeah.
But can you talk about a little bit more, like, you have been... Like, it's been the bane of my existence trying to get you to put a schedule to your life. Mm-hmm. But can you speak to that? Like, what is that?
So the reason I'm learning to not reject it, and not perfect, and but can I get a little gold star? At least I have a gold star that I've gotten better since the beginning of our marriage. An inch. Give me an inch.
I'll give you an inch.
All right, give it an inch. So. Hence redoing this podcast over and over again, the series of podcasts. But the reason that, so number one, my life's full of curveballs. Mm-hmm. So I had this fallacy, and I'm openly admitting that it's a fallacy, that if I have too rigid of a calendar, I won't be able to handle the curveballs and the audibles that come my way. Mm-hmm. I wish things went according to plan, and they often don't, especially the life of a minister. You know, like, I'm not a professional counselor where I get to just invoice somebody for an hour, you know, whereas like your time is up.
That would be nice.
I know, but sometimes someone's, we get to that hour mark and that person that I'm counseling or helping out starts crying. I can't be like, I'm sorry, but our time's up.
Our time is done.
Yeah, our time. Like,
I'll see you next week.
It was difficult for me to do that, but however, I'm growing even in that boundary. Like, there were excuses. These are excuses. They're fallacies. They're not real. But you're asking me why I had such a hard time with that, because in my head I go, I have to be super flexible. Yeah. But then what that did was it ate up my margin, and when it eats up my margin, and I don't have space to. I hate this word because it's been so abused, but when I don't have space for self-care, I become all the other hats fall apart. Yeah. I become a horrible husband. I become a horrible father, right? Because I come home. I
mean, I wouldn't say horrible.
No.
But just not your best.
I'm not fresh, right? I don't come home fresh. So then.
Horrible's a little dramatic.
True. But when I come home, I'm not able. This is accurate. I'm not able to give my wife my best. Mm-hmm. I'm not able to give my kids my best, right?
And you're not present because you're thinking of all the things you need to catch up on.
Right.
Or you're actually catching up on them.
Right. And so, but in the beginning, I rejected it because it doesn't handle the curveballs. And then, because I'm an achiever, I will sometimes feel as though I could do it. I could hustle. I could pull myself up by the bootstraps and just get everything done that needs to get done. Yeah. But I realized that self-care isn't selfish if the purpose of it is to be selfless. Yeah. And so my purpose of my self-care isn't just for me. I'm just going to do me. It's not that. Mm-hmm. It's like I need to create those boundaries, have those margins, be more rigid with my calendar so that I could be selfless with my home, selfless with the people that I care about. Mm-hmm. And so that was the major thing, is just not being able to handle the curveballs, not being able to handle the audibles. And apart from Enneagram-ness,
I was just going to say, like, I think we should start a game that every time you say I'm an achiever or I'm an Enneagram 3, everyone has to take a shot. So some people may have a problem with that. It's a joke.
It's a joke. But apart from my Enneagram 3-ness,
shot.
I do things based off inspiration. I have to be inspired to do it. Yeah. And sometimes when you sit down and you write this solid, amazing calendar, I get to that block of time where I got to do this and I have no inspiration. Mm-hmm. Right. And I not only do I like to achieve, but I like to be inspired and I like to live in the moment. You know what I mean? So then I annoy the heck out of you because I'm like, I got this idea, and I start building that idea. But it's like right after dinner, you have clocked out.
I am
you do
done
not
for the
want to
evening.
talk about
the
that.
makeup is off. The tea is in my hands.
Right.
I'm done.
Right. And so I have the excuse of I got to function from inspiration. That's what drives me. And I got to grow up. You got to be mature and just say sometimes you got to do things even if you don't have the inspiration to do them.
Yeah.
So that you can achieve the things you want to achieve. Right?
Yeah.
I have inspiration sometimes at midnight.
Yeah.
And that might feel great to me, but it doesn't serve those around me. So those have been the reasons why I reject the stupid calendar.
Yeah. But it works. It works.
It
So
does.
clearly it's important to have a well-managed calendar because you're able to like do the work that needs to get done, but you're able to like actually have fun and do things that you enjoy. Well, you shouldn't hate your work either, but you know what I mean? Like
Right.
you should have activities.
Yeah.
So managing your calendar well is that's how you get to that place. So like tips for effectively managing your calendar. One thing that we use is a shared calendar.
Yeah.
So I know there's like multiple, speaking of calendar,
she has
That's-
alarms
that's-
for everything.
I have alarms for everything. That is my coffee break alarm because at
Isn't that kinda-
2:30.
So stop. That's kind of crazy. It's
It
kind of
is,
crazy.
but it serves a purpose.
Okay.
One, a lot of times, like I'm working diligently and I have no concept of what time it is.
Yeah.
And then I'll be done. And I'll be like, oh, I would really like a coffee. And it's like 5:00 at night. I can't have a coffee at 5:00 at
That's
night.
smart.
I'll be up all night. So
That's
I set
smart.
it for 2:30. It says coffee break. Sometimes I have a coffee. Sometimes it's literally just to get up and move around.
Yeah.
Because like this morning I caught myself, you're saying, yeah now. This morning I caught myself, I was sitting at my desk at home for 3.5 hours straight. And I looked up at the clock and I was like, I need to get up and move. Like, this
Yeah.
is crazy. So that's the point of my coffee break. But we have a shared calendar. And I know there are different apps that you can pay.
Let's have structure to this, right? Because
Yeah.
I know you're just talking. So tip number 1, shared calendar with your loved ones.
Yes.
Go for it.
Do you want me to say tip number?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because
'Cause this is my tip.
Enneagram 3-ness needs
Shot.
needs to achieve all the
Oh my
points.
goodness. So tip number 1 is shared calendar. I know there's ones that people pay for.
Yeah, but
You don't have to do that. We're cheap.
We're free 99. We use a Google Calendar.
You love that phrase. We use a Google Calendar. We just created an email account, Risotto Calendar, and we have the calendar on our phone and on our boys' phones.
Yeah.
And we have it color coded as to whose
Because there's
item it
sub-calendars
is.
within
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
calendar.
So like Hunter's getting a haircut tomorrow. So it's red, Hunter haircut. So we know that's Hunter's.
Yeah.
And we both put things in that calendar. So if Mike wants to schedule a meeting for this, for both of us to be at, he'll look into the calendar and be like, oh, you know what? Jill has something at 1. Like maybe we can do 3, or we need to be here at this time. So that's not going to work. So that shared calendar is like gold for us. Especially when you have 2 people that do have a lot of meetings, a lot of travel. It just
100%.
really, really is helpful. And like put your kids' sports stuff in there, everything. For us too, because we have a blended family, we mark the weekends that the boys are with their other parents.
Yeah.
So that's helpful for us in planning as well.
Yeah, date nights and all that
Yeah,
other stuff.
absolutely.
Which, by the way, I'll secret tip is that we try to have a date night at minimum every other weekend.
We've not been good at that lately.
No, but that's our goal.
Like the least is like once a month.
The very least. But
Yeah.
we at least, at minimum once a month.
Yes.
A
yes.
date night where we're not talking about work. We'll talk about the kids, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about us. We'll talk about vision, future, dream, that kind of stuff. That's a non-negotiable.
Yeah, for sure. So, and some people just don't like a digital calendar. I have a digital calendar and I also have a paper planner that I write my to-do list in that paper planner every day. And I've tried to get you to do it, but you like to use Trello instead.
I do.
I also use Trello.
She's a psycho, man.
I use my iCal. I use Trello. I use a paper planner. I use notebooks. I have a notebook for every facet of my life. It's a little insane.
That is like a little too much.
It sounds crazy as it's coming out of my mouth, but like it works.
But how does it work when everything is in 3 different places?
They all serve a different purpose.
Like,
So Trello is my month.
Okay.
So I have Trello organized. Each like list is a day of the month.
And Trello is a free software you could
project management system.
that you
I
could
use
download.
it, and I use it for the work I do with Peak and with Fervent. So I've infected everybody with Trello.
Right. But we also have it.
Can we get like a sponsorship?
Well, shout out Trello.
Yeah.
Hashtag Trello.
Yeah. Biggest fan right here. But so my Trello, I put my whole month in Trello, and I have tiles for the things that I consistently do so that I can move. Like I do, for example, I write out thank you cards for church every Wednesday. New people, I write them a thank you card. Once I do it on Wednesday, I move it to the next Wednesday. So like I already know what's on my list when I'm coming into the next week because they're the things that I consistently do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then I take Trello lists and put them into my planner list. My planner has like hours, so I can write down like what my meetings and where I need to be, my list for the day, and then on the side I do this thing called 5 things. They're like 5 intentions for the day, and I've been doing that for a really long time now.
Give us examples of that. Like
my number one is one of my strongest beliefs, honestly. It's daily behaviors reflect your deepest beliefs.
Say that a little slower.
Daily behaviors reflect your deepest beliefs. And his name is escaping me right now. I have his book, but it was like, because like I would sit there and be like, why am I not getting where I need to get? Why am I not like doing the things I need to, like I say I want to do? And it's like your daily behaviors reflect your deepest beliefs. And so the things that you're saying you're all about, but you never do them, are you really all about them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's my first focus of the day.
If that doesn't convict you right there, like for me, that convicts me. Like it doesn't matter what I feel about the calendar. It doesn't matter how crazy I think you are with your 3 notebooks and you're this and you're that. Like you're living that conviction.
Yeah.
And that a lot of people, they fail to fulfill their potential because they can't execute things on a day-to-day basis, and therefore they're never gonna be able to achieve Enneagram 3s.
Well, it's like
achieve, take a shot, that big dream of theirs because of that. Well,
that's like, I don't want to throw him under the bus, but one of our boys was trying out for the high school baseball team.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, you have not picked up a glove since last spring.
Facts.
And this was like November.
Facts.
And I'm like, you're trying out? Yeah. So tryout time came around and he didn't try out. And I said, why didn't you try out? Well, I wasn't ready. I said, if you were really about making that baseball team, you would have been practicing every day.
Yeah.
But instead, you're laying on the couch, binge watching a show, you're playing video games, you're doing everything but preparing for baseball. And like Kobe Bryant was, if practice started at 5 a.m., he was there at 4 a.m. practicing an hour beforehand.
Right.
Like, and he was doing that every day, whether it was in season or off season. Huge basketball fan, by the way. But like his daily behaviors showed his deepest beliefs.
Wow.
And like, it's just, when I heard that on, I think he was on Ed Milet. When that was said, I was like, oh, it was like, it rocked me. Some other things I write, tenacious, but still. Those are like 2 things that I describe myself as. One more, which is an Ed Milet thing. You can always go one more. What does love require of me today? That's an Andy Stanley thing that some days when people are on my last nerve, I'm like, what does love require of me today? While I have boundaries, but what does love require of me today? And great minds rise above misfortune.
Wow.
That's another, I forget who said that one.
This woman is preaching right now. Come on.
But yeah, great minds rise above misfortune, because how many times in your day does something happen that gets on your nerves or that's unfortunate and it just completely derails your entire day? And we let it. And I'm not perfect. It happens to me too. But like, I have those little things written on the sidebar of my planner. So as I'm going through my day, I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh, remember, like my daily behaviors reflect my deepest beliefs. So like, I didn't get a workout in this morning. I'm going to work out later today because my health is important to me, or at least I say it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had Chick-fil-A for lunch, but it's about balance.
Perfect,
it's about balance.
We're not perfect.
So I use Trello for a monthly scope of my work. I use my daily planner for my daily stuff. I just like checking stuff off, like physically checking stuff off. It's so satisfying to me. And then notebooks are just for notes and meetings. And then those usually get translated into my Trello lists and stuff like that.
So I would say tip number 2 is...
find your medium.
Right.
And that's the thing, like, when I was trying to help Mike with this stuff, I wanted him to do it the exact same way that I did it. And we don't learn the same way. We don't operate the same way. And I came to realize, like, when I let that go and let him do, like, the things, like, in the medium that works best for him, that's how he's going to be successful. Right. You know what I mean?
While still accomplishing the task of
yes.
being structured and consistent. And those kind of things.
Yeah. So find your medium.
Find a medium. And I would say the third tip would be I like the scopes. I think scopes are important because, like you just said, a monthly Trello serves you because so many times we're so stressed out because we have so much to do. But I wonder, would we be less stressed out if we were just aware, hey, next month I have this.
Yeah.
So rather than waiting until the last minute, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? Let me schedule out those bites so I don't feel like I have to swallow that elephant at the end.
You're just leading into my third tip. I know you're trying to make tips while I already have my tips planned out. You can't be the second seat. You can't. I am the first seat right now. So know your place.
Wow. Yeah. Know your place.
First tip is the shared calendar. Second tip is to find your medium. And then the third tip, and now I lost my train of point. Oh, communication.
Communication.
The third tip is communication. Mike and I find that we butt heads so much.
You just saw it, folks.
When things are... That was nothing. I'm Italian. He's Puerto Rican. Like, that was nothing.
Boom.
But when we have crazy weeks and we haven't talked about it, that's when we butt heads.
Yeah.
Like, that's when we feel disconnected and things seem crazy. But, like, we do, and it's, again, not always perfect, but before a new month, we'll look at our calendar. I write it all out on my calendar, and I say, this is what our month looks like.
Which, by the way, I hate it, but I love it at the same time. But
it's great because there are there's some months where there is one Saturday in the entire month where we have nothing planned.
And you got to protect that sucker.
And we put a big red square around it, and we put it in our calendar and say, do not plan anything for this day. The last time it happened, that was in October, and that's when I got COVID because we were like, I can't wait for Saturday. We have nothing planned, and then I got COVID.
And then you got COVID.
So the only plan was I was in bed.
Yeah, we did nothing.
But looking at the month ahead of time, and then every Sunday, look at your week ahead, have a conversation about it, have a conversation together about it, and then plan it out in your medium so that there's no surprises. So like with Mike, the thing that I was trying to like teach you was, yes, you're going to get curveballs, but look at your week ahead of time and then look at your day ahead of time too. So like, okay, this happened today and I wasn't able to tackle this. Where in my week can I put it instead? Like, where do I have space that if I couldn't do this on Monday, where can I put it on Thursday so it still gets done so I can still like have a day off and rest and enjoy my family.
Yeah.
But that communication is so key because on those weeks where things are crazy, or if you have kids that are involved in activities and stuff and you both have something planned, like it's important to talk up front to be like, okay, how are we getting this kid home or to whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
Communication is so important, and that's why like it blows my mind when there's people that don't use a calendar, and 9 times out of 10 their life is really frazzled and they're always like this, that, and everything. And it's like, okay, if you just took 5 minutes on a Sunday to sit down with yourself, with your partner, whatever your situation is, and talk through it, like it's so much smoother. It's so much smoother. So shared calendar, whether it's with your husband, your spouse, your wife, your whatever, your boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, or just with your kids, you know.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, if your kids have a phone, and it's good to know. Second one is find your medium and actually use it. And the third one is communication. Those are like, there's so many more details.
For sure.
And I've done this with a couple people, just like kind of like overhauled their life, helped them plan their life out. And when they don't fight it, it's really helpful. But those are the three that I think, because we don't want to keep you home, keep you here all day as well.
Yeah. So. No, those are great. I think those are great starting points, and probably future podcasts will go in a deeper dive on it or whatever. But or maybe like I would love to see you, because you're so good at it. I would love to see you just create. It's just a separate curriculum. In this, because
in
it's
all
essential.
my free time.
Yeah. We will make it.
Crazy calendar.
Crazy calendar.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, thank you, Jillian.
You're welcome.
For
You're
killing
welcome.
that.
Be sure, while you're at it, to follow us on Instagram at Mike Rosato, at Jillian Rosato, on TikTok at Mike Rosato, at Jillian.Rosato. Yo, TikTok at Jillian Rosato, where you at? Like, let me get that handle.
Right.
We'll trade.
Surrender that handle.
Yeah, give it up. How much?
Right. How much?
I ain't got no money, but how much? And be sure, if you like the podcast, share it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Share it in your Instagram story.
Especially
share it on
2023.
Facebook. I don't go on Facebook much, but just share it and drop us some topic ideas as well.
Yeah.
Because we want to hear what you guys want to hear. But is this one going to be in 2023 or right before?
Right before.
Right before. So we have a huge lineup for 2023. We're going to have some guests come on.
Yep.
Have them chat it up with us. I have a list of people. I can't wait. Stacey, I'm calling you out. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
But yeah, let us know what you're thinking. Thank you for joining us today. There, you can close it. I'll give you, my second chair will close the podcast.
Wow, you're gonna give me that permission to close this one. Thank you so much. Hey, rate us, review us. That helps us out.
Subscribe.
And subscribe.
Follow.
Yep. And we'll see you next time right here. Too Real. Peace.